Well, this is pretty frustrating. This is reminding me of the Yorkshire World Championships. If you don't remember the Yorkshire World Championships, the men's road race, there was no helicopter footage or just about any dynamic moving footage because of the wet weather conditions. And there's much of the same in the Cadel Evans road race. It's about 20 kilometres to go, and you may as well be watching me talk about it with no race footage, because there is no race footage, because the helicopters have been grounded because the weather is so bad in Geelong, near Geelong, which is in Victoria near Melbourne. The weather's terrible, really like rainy conditions, stormy conditions. It has been super hot in Melbourne, but it's a bit frustrating, I guess. I set aside time to do a live stream and no one knows what's going on. Phil Leggett and Keenan and Robbie McEwen are there. Robbie McEwen's been on the motorbike actually, and it looks pretty soggy for him. So there's a break, and it's 20 kilometers. There's about 20 kilometers to go, or just under. There's a breakaway, and they have, I think, I want to say a minute 20 on the peloton. We'll have a look at the start list assuming that we do get live footage coming back pretty soon. If you want to watch this, if you're in Australia, you can watch on 7+. If you're overseas, I think you can watch on Tiz Cycling. But yeah, you should be able to find the stream on wherever you are, your relevant cycling provider. But let's have a look at the start list for assuming that we will be able to see the finish. And so there's rally cycling, right? Chloe Hosking's obviously the best female sprinter at the moment by quite a way, and no one wants to go to the finish with her because she'll be odds on to win any bunch sprint. So the rest of the team, it's incumbent on them to make it hard for Rally and basically to drop her. It's the same on Poggio. Everyone tried to drop Cavendish when he was going for Milan San Remo. That always, the other teams with sort of more roulette riders or like Gilbert, or even like Sunweb with Matthews and co, they would try and drop Cavendish on the climbs, and that's going to be the case for what Mitchell and Scott are going to do on the next climb, on the main climb that's to go, because they want to drop Chloe Hosking, set it up for Spratt. Plan A. Plan B will be either Grace Brown or Lucy Kennedy. Lucy Kennedy she's good in sort of one-day races. She nearly won a stage, maybe did win a stage, but she nearly won a stage famously in the Giro Rosa last year when she put her hands up and Mariana Voss pipped her at the line. So Mitchell and Scott are going to be the team that are going to try and light this up and make it hard so that they drop Chloe Hosking. Other notable riders are Sunweb. I think Sunweb are the second strongest squad. I would say maybe Sunweb or Trek Segafredo, but Sunweb, Leah Kirchmann, Juliette Labou, they're really strong. Labou rode pretty strong in support of Lippert and Kirchmann in the Tour Down Under. But yeah, Liana Lippert, I interviewed her Friday week before, and that podcast will be coming out soon. But she's got a really good variety of ability. In a flat sprint, probably not going to beat Chloe Hosking, but it'll be pretty close behind her. And in an uphill sprint, she's going to be there as well with Spratt, and actually drops Spratt on one of the 3 to 4 minute climbs in the Tour Down Under. So she's really good 2 to 3 minute power. So I'm looking to her to get a podium. So that podcast is more relevant, I guess. Other notable riders that we may expect to see contesting the finale are Lotta Hentala, the Finnish rider on Trek Segafredo, and Ruth Winder and Taylor Wiles, the two Americans on Trek Segafredo. They're the other big names that stand out for me. Emily Herfoss on the Rock Salt Attacker, which is an entirely Australian team, it looks to me. Emily Herfoss could be there to snag a top 5 as well. She did well in the Torquay road race. I think she might have got a podium on Thursday. That was 2 days ago, but that was during the day. The winner of that race is on FDJ Nouvelle Aquitaine Futuroscope, which actually has 3 French riders and 3 Australians, but Brodie Chapman won that race by 30 seconds or so, maybe a little bit more, in breakaway. She trained in Brisbane for a fair while, so Brodie Chapman's another one to look out for a breakaway up the next climb. She'll be sitting on the back of Mitchelton, I think. But still, we don't have any live pictures, which makes my life kind of difficult when I'm describing what's happening in a in a race, and I can't see the race, so we're just guessing, I guess. I'm watching Tobin, the weatherman, talk to Phil Liggett, and that's about it. Pretty annoying, to be honest, and not very helpful for you, not very helpful for me. Other notable riders are Jessica Pratt. She just got signed through the Zwift Academy to Canyon SRAM Racing. She's a Brisbane girl as well, so I'll be hoping she gets a good result. And just like in the Torquay road race, and you'll see tomorrow at Cadel's, Quarterment, the Real Estate Australia, a lot of young riders like Alex Martin Wallace and Ruby Roseman Gannon, younger Australian riders who are sort of getting a shot at the big time. At the moment, Cadel looks in pretty good shape himself. He's wearing his jumper, and they're interviewing him. This is so fucking annoying, honestly. I don't know what I did during the during the Yorkshire World Championships. I guess everyone was more willing to wait then because it was the World Champs, and we were getting some sort of footage. But I don't understand. So the reason the footage is down is apparently they need the helicopter. Even you'd think, oh well, if the helicopter's down, well they can't just have the motorbike footage. But I think they need the helicopter to bounce the motorbike footage back up, and so that when the helicopter's down, nothing happens. Let me check the Twitter. Cadel Evans Twitter, not him. The road race. There we go. I mean, you'd think that there'd be some sort of technological workaround. Okay, here we go. We've got some live tweets. We're going to do it via live tweet. So there's a 1:45 gap to Bakker, Bugard, Valsecki, Veal, and Wright. And also 15. So the climb is the Chalumbra climb. We'll go to the Strava in the interim and look at that Chalumbra climb. It's pretty hard. Pretty hard climb. There's a steep pinch with 20 kilometers to go now. They said 4 minutes ago. Still a breakaway to go. But 10 Ks till the finish. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at the Chalumbra climb. What have you guys got to say for yourselves? Nothing. You guys are probably just as frustrated as me. Alright. Segment explore. We'll go to Geelong and see if we can find it. So, because I was talking to a fair few of the guys who are... I was talking to Elliot Schultz, who's riding the... the Cadel men's race tomorrow, and he was saying, he's like, oh, what gearing should I use, and how should I approach it, yada yada yada. You can see last year Brodie Chapman on the 26th of January, she's got the Quam on Chalumbra. Are we going to see Brodie Chapman go ham in 20 minutes? Will we see it? Maybe. She'll be on the back of the Mitchelton train. But as you can see in the Strava segment, it's obviously pretty flat. Well, the climb proper is here, and it does get really steep at the end. You can see it's like sections of 20%, 15%, and that's not just Strava saying it. Apparently it does actually get pretty steep, and you need to be doing some big power. As you can see, Mike Woods 490 watts for the com, 2 minutes 56 at probably not very many kilograms. So it's one of those tricky, steep urban climbs. But we now have... Oh no, I'm not seeing race footage. I think they're showing highlights at the start. There's lots of attacks from Rock Solid Attacker actually initially to set up. Yeah, Madeline Wright initially attacked with Marieke van Witzenberg with like 115 Ks to go. Bad Vegan, if you want to watch the live feed, I'm not sure where you're geographically located, but if you're in Australia, you can watch for free on 7+. I think if you're in, I don't know where Tiz Cycling's available, but Tiz Cycling I think has a stream. Flow Bikes, I know I don't want to recommend them, but if you're in America, I think they're showing it. Eurosport Player, if you're in Europe, I think will have it. But yeah, Australia, it's free on 7+. Just get a VPN, I would say. Although, with the problem is with 7+ or 7.2, the amount of advertisements is just insane. It's pretty difficult to deal with. So I was thinking about, ironically, getting a VPN to pretend that I wasn't in Australia to watch Australian races. But we are now, well, we have 12 kilometers to go, and there's a Skype live stream from a motorbike. It might be Robbie McEwen, and man, this has been going on for ages. I don't know if I can continue this stream. This is fucked. I think I might. Does anyone know what they've been talking about, whether there's a likelihood they'll actually get footage back up? If anyone can comment in the chat whether there's actually going to be real footage coming back up. Otherwise, this is a bit of a waste of my time and your time, me just complaining about it. I mean, if they haven't got it back up already, this is... I mean, this is my attempt. This is me trying to cover women's cycling, and there's no footage. It's kind of... It's pretty frustrating, actually. So the Chalambra climbs should be in about 3 to 4 kilometers. I don't know who... Yeah, Mitchell and Scott probably would be riding for Spratt, although Kennedy's... I would say Kennedy's maybe a better pure climber than Amanda Spratt. Not as great a versatile rider as Spratt, but yeah, who are Mitchell and Scott going to ride for? Is Chloe Hosking going to be strong enough to hang on the climb? I don't think she will. I think she'll get dropped. I think if Mitchell and Scott don't take it up, then Sunweb should make it pretty hard with Labou, Kirkman, and Liana Lippert, because Chloe, when they've taken Chloe Hosking to the line, she's beaten them. She beat them every time in Tour Down Under, so they've got to drop her before. TS91193. This coverage on TV is absolute crap. I know, it's insane, man. Blade Blatchford on the back. There is Skype footage on the back of a motorbike. Roland Shoemaker, new channel member. Literally a guy on a tablet sitting on the back of a bike. I know, this is... I mean, you can't see anything. I don't understand how it's... I mean, no, yeah. I guess I could just talk about the BMC. I can just talk about Remco. Looks like they're getting towards the climb. I got 10 Ks to go exactly. The peloton's 28 seconds behind the breakaway group, and it looks like they're about to go over a little bit of a climb. I mean, the Skype footage is okay, actually, if they just keep the screen clear. But people are getting shelled pretty badly. I think they're going to bring back this break fairly quickly. And they're on a climb now. Rock Saltless Hacker Rider's been dropped. Felix and Newstead, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing my best to cover Cadel Evans Women's Road Race, and they're on the climb. And you can see how steep it is. Plus, in the wet, you got to bear in mind, in the wet, as you know, you get even less traction on the back wheel on these steeper sections when you're out of the saddle, and you get tire slip. So I think it's going to be a light rider like Liana Lippert, although I can see 2 Sunweb riders have been dropped. I don't know if they're helpers or if someone's had a mechanical, but the whole bunch has been completely split. I can't see... Yeah, Sunweb's on the front, as I said. They should have been. Liana Lippert's on the front right now. I'm pretty sure we've got a Trek Segafredo rider behind her. Amanda Spratt's there. She's on the outside, and there's an attack coming from the Trek Segafredo rider, or trying to increase the pace. But Lippert, and I think it'd be Kirchmann or Juliette Labou are there. They've been setting the pace, and it's flattening off a little bit. There's now a complete split. Hosking's been dropped, and there's 6 or 7 riders left. No Mitchell and Scott riders. To me, from what I can see, Kennedy's trying to bring it back a little bit, but it looks like Amanda Spratt, although the pace come out now, but Amanda Spratt's the only Mitchell and Scott rider there. So we can work with this level of coverage. We can work with this. Okay, I'm happy now. We're not cancelling the stream. Let's go! Come on, Liana. It'd be awesome if Liana Lippert won this race. Although I like Amanda Spratt as well. I like all the female riders are so much just more accessible and friendlier, and yeah, less ego, I guess, than than a lot of the male riders. So I almost prefer covering them a lot of the time. But someone said in the live chat, it was Bad Vegan says, Will says it's... No, not Will's. Bad Vegan says Taylor Wills is the Trek rider pacing. I think, yeah, that does look correct. There's split's been brought back a little bit because the climb is undulating, or doesn't go downhill, but it's steeper sections. But still, every time they go over a steeper ramp, another split happens, and it really looks like 6 or 7 riders being Lippert, Wills, Spratt, Ruth Winder, Lucy Kennedy. I can't see. Lucy Kennedy would be in this bigger group now. I can't see Brodie Chapman either. TS 9119993. To support me, you can either donate or ask a question or do a super chat in the live chat, or that's fine. Or you can do channel membership, so like $2.99 Australian, $3 a month, and you can join the private Discord. That's basically like a tip service, etc. But yeah, there's channel membership, varying tiers, or donating in the live chat. Beetlejuice Green says good effort for women's racing. I'm not sure if that's me or the riders, but they're going up the steepest part of the Chalambra climb right now, and the tablet's just a little bit far away, but it looks like a Sunweb rider is... 2 riders have gone clear. Is it an FDJ rider? Is it Brodie Chapman again? It wouldn't surprise me if it was, given that she has the Quam on Chalambra, Brodie Chapman from last year, and now the motorbike's accelerated too far away from them, so we can't see anything. Man, this is a big shame, really, because this is such an interesting race. There's some good strategy here. They've dropped Hosking. We've now got a battle between young riders in Liana Lippert, Ruth Winder, Taylor Wills, Amanda Spratt, Kennedy, I think probably Brodie Chapman. But they're all looking at each other now. So they weren't able to get a definitive gap over the top of that climb. And there's actually, I think, 3 Sunweb riders there right now. So Sunweb are going to counterattack. I'm pretty sure they're on the descent right now. And yes, that's happened. One of the Sunweb riders has immediately come from the back. One of the domestiques attacked over the top. Spratt's there. Chapman, I'm pretty sure, is there. I think there's a Canyon SRAM rider. It's hard because their kits are so dirty and grubby now, especially the white kits, seeing as they've been riding in the rain for 4 hours just about. Santiago Benitez, it's a pretty sketchy feed. Yeah, it's because the coverage is bad because they can't use the helicopter to bounce the actual good images off. So they're using a Skype tablet to off the back of a motorbike to like live feed. Oh, thank you, Felix Newstead, $2. Thanks for covering women's racing. It's refreshing. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to do my best here, although they've gone to an ad break right now, which is a little bit frustrating given that they had a lot of downtime to do ads. So we'll answer a question in the live chat. Finnegan Murphy, thoughts on Ella Harris? I must confess, I'm not too familiar with her. But we'll go to her pro cycling stats right now. Ella Harris, 21 years old, young rider from Canyon SRAM Racing from New Zealand, and didn't finish race Torquay. Santos Women Tour Down Under, she did pretty well. 2 top 10s, 4th in the mountains classification. That was in 2020, and in 2019 she had a full season. Gravel and Tar La Flemme, that's a gravel race in New Zealand. She got the youth jersey in Vuelta a Burgos Femininas. Second in that I can't pronounce that. 3rd in youth classification at Colorado Classic. I think Chloe Dygert probably would have won that, so that's not too bad. And in Tour Cycliste Féminine International de l'Ardèche, she came 4th in one of the stages. So she looks like she's improving. Really young. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of her, I must confess. She looks like a climber, right? She's that's what the sort of thing she seems to be good at, especially those 2 top 10s at Tour Down Under. Mark Black says the feed is Robbie McEwen on Skype. Yeah, I think it is. So Robbie is on the back of a motorbike and he's just holding a tablet laptop and filming on Skype. And they took an ad break when we have 6Ks to go and the race was so animated. Fuck, it's so frustrating, man. Like, the race is on now. Trek, Michelin Scott, Rockside Attacker, 1 FDJ rider. Sunweb are bossing it. Sunweb, somewhere, but coming from Michelin Scott. Obviously, Marianne Voss team, what's that, CCC? Are they still CCC? Felix Newstead, have you done a video on Chloe Dygat? No, I was supposed to do a video on Chloe Dygat's World Champs preparation because she has her rides on Strava. So TS911993 says Ella Harris won the Zwift competition to get her place on Canyon SRAM. Oh, okay, so she must have done that side by side or at the same time as Jessica Pratt, because Jessica Pratt, if we go back on Canyon SRAM, Jessica Pratt, I think she did the same pathway. She's from Brisbane, so it was a big deal here. And a few people told me to interview her, but Jessica Pratt got top 10 in stage 4 of the Santos Women's Tour Down Under 2019. She rode Women's Herald Sun Tour and Santos Women's Tour Down Under. Okay. Diego Quiroga says, who's watching Colombian National Championship tomorrow? Can someone just tell me, please? So my small brain doesn't have to figure it out what time the Colombian National Championships is on in Brisbane time, because I can't figure it out. Bad Vegan says, looks like Liana Lippert breakaway. Well, your boy interviewed her last week because I know talent when I see it, and she was killing it. High cadence rider in the Tour Down Under, looking super strong. And let me go back. Yeah, I just expect really big things from Liana Lippert. I reckon she's got it. And when I interviewed her as well, she's super focused. She thinks about everything. She's like, yeah, these are my power profiles, etc. This is what I'm good at. This is what I want to improve at. She just really switched on. I was super impressed. Not that my opinion really matters, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to releasing that, hoping she gets at least a podium here. If we get the live feedback, yeah, 3.6Ks to go. What an opportune time for the ad break from Channel 7. 3.5Ks to go. I want to go back to the motorbike with Robbie McEwen. So far, 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 53 seconds. And they're saying apologies for lack of live pictures due to bad weather. I mean, this is, the point of the cycling races in Australia is to, especially that they really act as the tourism driver. But geez, like Tour Down Under, it was all about the bushfires. Now the weather's been too bad in Melbourne to broadcast this race. Makes you really think, why don't they have races on the Gold Coast and Brisbane where I live? You'll get good weather, trust me. It'll be fine. They're now saying a time gap, 2.8Ks left, and there's a 90-second gap between the peloton and the chase. I'm not sure that's 100% correct. That makes no sense to me. They're showing a shot of the finish line right now. Man, I think I'm gonna call Channel 7 out on this. This is bullshit, man. Like, before the ad break, if you've got the iPad with Robbie McEwen, why can't you keep showing that at least so we have some vague understanding of what's happening? Blade Blatchford said the sky footage was the dude's face that was filming. I think it was Robbie McEwen. So, yeah, Jason Hunt says Noosa would be gold for racing. Yeah, if they had the race at Noosa right now, like you got rolling climbs, Noosa, Gold Coast, it doesn't matter. Like Gold Coast, you got extended climbs. Unlike Adelaide, like you got some really long climbs on the Gold Coast. So if they ever wanted to do that, that'd be pretty cool. It'd just be, I think, harder logistically than the Gold Coast to convince people that it'd be a good idea. It sounds like Liana Lippert. Yeah, Liana Lippert's broken away on her own. I don't know why Robbie McEwen, full fucking boomer mode, is showing his own face. Maybe when he's trying to do the screen. All right, let me just snap this because, yeah, this is. I hope she wins this race. Liana Lippert. Okay, put that on my Instagram. She looks like, if that time gap to 90 seconds was to her, then this is all over. Looking at the motorbikes behind her, 1.4Ks to go. This is over because what happened was, so Sunweb attacked that climb really hard. They were at the front of the climb. They made it super hard. I don't think Spratt was in particularly good condition on that climb. And then when it got really easy, or not really easy, when everyone eased off the gas, once they got over the climb, there were two Sunweb riders blocking at the front. From what I could briefly see in the 40 pixel footage, two Sunweb riders at the front. And then she counterattacked over the top. It reminded me of what the Dutch women's national team did in one of the World Championships a few years ago, when one of the not as famous riders won. I had Vos and Van Vleuten in the group, and then the third rider attacked over the top. When everyone was looking at each other, Vos and Van Vleuten blocked, and that was all she wrote. But 1.4 k's to go. It looks like Liane Lippert's on her own on the Cervelo S5 disc wheels. There's motorbikes behind her, so it must be a 30-second gap. This is all she wrote. Hopefully she keeps it upright. Very wet, these roundabouts. I did call it though. I did call it. If you're watching the stream and all you listening, I said I think Liane Lippert is in with a shout. And God, I love being right. It feels so good. Although I don't want to jinx it. Obviously there could still be a chase from Lucy Kennedy and Amanda Spratt behind. We don't really know. The motorbikes do seem to be moving away from her now, and the 1.4 k's to go graphic hasn't really changed. But what are you guys saying in the live chat? Oh, we can see Robbie McEwen's Skype thing there. Didn't change off that quick enough. Andrew says wrong. She attacked up and over the climb. There were not teammates blocking for her. I don't know. Pretty sure I saw somewhere people in front of her. But there you go. I'll have to ask her. I think this looks like no one's chasing. And this is all over for Liane Lippert. But all we're seeing is the finishing line right now. I think it shouldn't be too much longer to the finish. They're moving the cars out of the way right now, although 1.1 k's to go. She hasn't seen my Instagram story yet, so maybe she is still riding. Cade Aldrich says Phil Guyman put CBD oil in his coffee today. Is that correct? Weird. Adam O'Halloran, go, go, go. Blade Blatchford says Liana wins. Adam O'Halloran says it was so close. Oh, hold on. They've just come into screen now. 600 meters to go. Liane Lippert's 500 meters to go. And Trek look like they're chasing Liane Lippert. Liane looks pretty gassed, but it's a downhill finish. She keeps it upright. I mean, this looks super close, but Trek are chasing us. It wasn't actually all over, but now it's saying 150 meters to go. Classy win by Lippert. Super classy win. She looks like she can go real deep. Oh, it wasn't that close. Hands in the air. Bang. Big win for Sunweb, especially as Sunweb did so well in Tour Down Under. Man, I'm stoked. I'm pretty happy with that. So I was speaking to Sunweb's press officer last night. Lucas Cruz. He's like, when are you going to release the podcast? I said, wait, I'm going to release the podcast when the time is right, aka I'm pretty sure Liana's going to get on podium tomorrow, so I'll release it after that. And she has. Young German, 22 years old, big win for her. I actually did in the podcast, I'm pretty sure I said you want to win Cadels. But that's awesome for her. Ruth Winder and Taylor Wills, third and fourth. Big for them. Sierra, second. It wasn't too close at the end, but big win for Liane Lippert. And Sunweb did a really good team performance. Juliette Labou, Leah Kirkman, big team performance from them. Awesome to win Cadel Evans road race. And I think one of many to come for Liane Lippert. If you listen to the pod, you'll hear she talks about, her goals are Ardennes Classics, and Cadel Evans road race kind of replicates a bit of some of the Ardennes Classics. That Shallambra climb especially, very steep, very hard, and Sunweb is stoked. Awesome to see. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with me. This was Mark Black. Thanks for your coverage. What's with the 1 minute delay? You are 1 minute behind the TV. That is just the nature of YouTube. Apparently, I'm sorry. Not exactly the easiest to coordinate myself to the Skype footage on Cadel Evans. Coverage from 7-2. But anyway, it's a shame the coverage wasn't fantastic. A bit disappointing with what was otherwise, it looked like a super exciting finish. I want to listen to this interview. Big win for Liana Lippert. Big future ahead of her. Super talented. Thanks for watching Lanterne Rouge live stream of Cadel Evans Women's Road Race, won by Liana Lippert from Sunweb. See you later.